Now loading. Zero's Game Room.
Welcome to Zero's Game Room, where all things gaming takes place. Interviews, discussions, and the latest gaming news. So take a seat, get comfortable, adjust your headset, because it's game time. Here's your host, Zero.
Come on in, check in. You are listening to Zero's Game Room, ZGR, with a brand new logo in the studio. Woo! I actually really like our logo. What do you think of it?
I actually really do like it. I think the old one, it was.
You can be honest, be brutal.
It was good. My first impression was good, but then when I saw the new logo, I was like, wow. I like this one better. This one's a lot better.
It's okay. We got it commissioned, so it obviously was going to come out better. But today, we have a couple of gaming news, I guess some clarification of some rumors, and yes. I don't even want to know if I'm calling it my own theory or conspiracy theory of what Nintendo's doing, but we'll get to that. We're going to actually start off today with OnPred because he's PC Elite Gamer number 5069.
Obviously, it's a superior way to play games and everything else in life.
Okay, I'm going to admit this. When it comes to PC, that is the best, and I would consider the only way to play first-person shooters. No. Anything else than that, I'm going to argue with.
I think when you're trying to enjoy life, I think PC is just amazing. And if you play anything else, you're kind of a bum. Unless you have the Switch, then the Switch, you get a pass. You get a pass for me,
All right, whatever.
Okay, nerd.
It's like, well, you're just hating on the PS4s and the Xbox ones. But you know what?
It's true, because I want God of War, but I can't play it.
You just want a PC port of it. But you go ahead. Start off with what's going on with Blizzard and Activision. There's a lot going on Twitter. Their stock. Talk about it, man.
Dude, I feel bad for Blizzard. So what's happening right now is that from a gamer perspective, there's nothing really to be excited for Blizzard. But on a stock point of view, man, that's horrible. If you were to tell me, hey, OnPred, hey, Zero, on October 3rd, you should buy some Blizzard stock and invest in the company. That was $86 now.
No, today, it was $86.
$86 on October.
Right.
Now it's $46. So you lost half your investment. So if you put 1,000, you lost like 500, maybe some change.
Right. Depending on how much stock you invested in.
Damn, and then you're just like, what happened? Like, never in my life would I would think like, hey, Blizzard, the mega force behind World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and Heroes of the Storm. Like, you would never think, like, man, a big giant like that would be taken down, but here we are now. And then, if you look at the recent events, you have Diablo Immortals, which...
Oh, my God.
My God, everybody
That was the one that was the mobile game, right?
Yeah, that was the one where they're saying, hey, guys, a new Diablo game that you guys have been waiting for forever. It's like if Skyrim were to came out. Well, they have a mobile game for it. But that's
they have Skyrim on mobile?
Okay,
never mind. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 15 on mobile.
Potato, yeah.
Potato.
Kind of. But it's like, you waited so long for a new game, and then they're like, hey, man, that new game that you love so much, their new installment is just going to be on mobile. And there was no other news, and people hated it.
I remember because when it happened, I've seen videos of the presentation that happened, and everybody was just like silent. They're like, yeah, new, and everybody was silent. They're like, even you could tell that people were like, what, you guys don't you guys all have phones?
Yeah, and everybody just hated that. And then even like the one guy where, like you said before, like it's an out of season, is this an out of season April Fool's joke? And they're like,
oh yeah,
no,
he even said,
no,
yeah,
it's a real thing, why do you hate it? And then you would think that would be a wake-up call, but no, it's not. The second biggest thing that happened was that Activision lost the rights to Destiny 2, which, for me, I'm excited about, but it's totally bad for Activision.
Why are you excited about it, though?
Because when I think of Activision, I think they're just pushing games way too early, and that's what Destiny 2 was. And with Destiny 1, like I think with Madden, like for instance, like the Madden football games, like... Okay. Just because it's a new year doesn't mean the game's better. Just because you have Battlefield 1, which was in World War 1, and then you have Battlefield 5, it's just not the same. Those companies aren't doing that game's justice that brought it that star power. I'm not going to buy Battlefield anymore. And then when the new Destiny came out under Activision, nobody really liked it, except for a few people, and they were saying Destiny 2 should have been their Destiny 1, and
Right, because there was a lot of problems with Destiny 1. Because I played Destiny 1, and it was okay. It was good, but there was some weird parts and just loose ends, and just I didn't feel very immersed very much.
Yeah.
And then I know there was, I think, was it Blizzard? I think you were telling me that Destiny 2 was free for a while if you downloaded the Blizzard.
Yes.
And I think I've also seen Destiny 2 for free because it was just doing so poorly. I've just heard poor reviews about Destiny 2, other than the few people that liked it.
It was just very...
And now you're saying it's going to go back to Bungie.
Now the rights are going back to Bungie. So you had Destiny Immortals, you had Destiny 2 being free because it was doing so bad.
Do you mean Diablo Immortals?
Diablo Immortals.
You said Destiny Immortals.
Destiny Immortals.
Oh, Destiny's everything.
It's a crossover. My bad. Diablo Immortals. And then when you had released Destiny 2, it was free, but it had a lot of more microtransactions in the game. And then now you lost one of your big powerhouses. And when you download the Blizzard net, there's the Blizzard, and then there's Activision. And what does Activision have? Only Black Ops 4 and Destiny 2. That's it.
That's it?
That's all they have.
So what are Activision and Blizzard going to do? What can they do, or what should they do? Being the scientific numbers guy you are.
Honestly, the best thing for them to do right now is make good games. Make something that I want to invest back into the company. If Nintendo only made Mario games, would it be
I feel to an extent it'd be great, but the thing that makes Nintendo great, and this is a good segue, is that Nintendo has different IPs, and some they're trying to bring back. For example, like Metroid Prime 4, which we haven't heard anything yet.
The JPEG.
The JPEG.
Metroid Prime 4 JPEG?
I'm so excited.
Oh my god, it's
But they have a lot of IPs, and then you have things like Super Smash Bros. Where you have all these great crossovers of characters. That's what makes Nintendo great. Now, what's interesting about Nintendo, here's the segue, people, and this is kind of like the big story, and there was a rumor going around. People were posting about it. You even said it was on Reddit, right?
Yes, and you fell for it too.
I did?
You did fall for it.
I fell for it. I fell for it too because I even saw it later on. I screenshot it and I sent it to you thinking that it was the real deal. Turns out it's actually not the real deal, and what's happening is we are not actually getting a Direct.
Don't even say it with that emotion, because the moment you sent that to me, you're like, buddy, I'm Brett. There's a Direct. And you're like, oh, well, I guess I was tricked by
I guess I was. Okay, I was wrong. Is that what you want? I was really wrong.
Damn it.
I couldn't believe it because it seemed reasonable that Nintendo would do this kind of thing, but they didn't. What makes this interesting, though, is what's been going on Twitter, in the Twitterverse of things, because Nintendo has been dropping names and titles.
Yeah, and it's like, why? You should have done an actual Direct. They had a mini Direct on their Twitter feed. It's like, bro, why?
You could have just had a Nintendo Direct mini, a 15-minute just showcasing, hey, these are because I get it in some retrospect, because what we've gotten was a couple of things. For one, we got the NES titles that are coming to the Switch, which are Zelda 2, The Legend of Link, and Blaster Master. That's coming out January 17th. What's so funny about Blaster Master?
Nothing. It's
Never mind.
What? No.
Never mind. Let's not go there.
Okay.
They also are saying that Kirby's Epic Yarn is coming out in March, which Kirby's Epic Yarn was a Wii title, and it's getting a 3DS port. And they also finally gave us the announcement of Yoshi's Crafted World. We got the story trailer, and that's coming out March 29th. So we're getting all these little things. Another thing that we got on there as I'm scrolling through the Twitter feed was we already knew about New Super Mario Bros. U. We knew about the Bowser's Inside story going to 3DS. Another thing for those people who actually still play this mobile game, because I actually played it quite a bit because I love Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem Heroes mobile game is getting new characters from the Teleus series. The Teleus series being Fire Emblem Path of Radiance for the GameCube and Radiant Dawn for the Wii. So we're getting characters like, if you know who they are, it's T-Barn. He's the Hawk King. He's the King of Phoenicius.
Ooh.
You don't even care because you're like, well, it's Fire Emblem. We also get Nyla. She was OP. And we're getting two of the Herons. We're getting Raisin, who is the prince, and we're also getting Leanne because she is waifu.
I like that last one.
And there you go. So we're getting a bunch of little things. We're getting that Tales of Vesperia HD's coming. We're getting Final Fantasy X and X-2 coming to the Switch. This whole thing is all on Twitter. If you go to Nintendo of America, you will see all these things.
It's frustrating. Nintendo, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? Why would you do this?
Again, the only thing I could think of, and I'm not trying to defend Nintendo because I would have preferred a Direct, but it's just what if you're a person who actually really doesn't check out Twitter? That's what this podcast is for.
Yeah.
Because we check Twitter, we check Instagram, we check everywhere. But all these games, it's just ports of things, or I think the only new title we're getting is Yoshi's Crafted World. Everything else is like a port of something.
I mean, I guess I can see it that way. Like, it's not really worth of a direct, but it's just there's so much information that they're giving. You would assume that it would be a direct, but even Dragon's Dogma, which I'm really hyped for.
What is Dragon's Dogma? Or am I saying it right? Dragon's Dogma?
Yeah.
Because that was a game that I was like, you can write that down because we have like a master sheet of notes. But what is that game? What did it do?
It's really cool because it's like an RPG-ish kind of, but like
action RPG or turn-based RPG?
Action RPG.
So like you run around and hit stuff and you level up type stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like if there's a
fun.
if there's a giant, you don't just hi-ya at the
okay.
legs.
Why is your attacking always just your Kirby's? Yeah.
You know,
because that's all he does.
Yeah, but like it's not like that. Like sometimes you got to climb on the enemy, and it's like oh my god.
Is it? I feel like when you say climb with the enemies, the first thing I thought of was Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes,
was it really like that? Where
the enemies are smaller, but like it's more intense. You have to dodge a lot, and then like you have a party, which it's a party of 4. No, yes, party of 4. So it's you, and then you have your spawn, and then you have 2 other spawns that you get from other people's creations. It's really crazy.
Oh,
it's really
I'm like,
cool.
This is actually sounding kind of interesting. Something that I would like to play.
Yeah, and like you could be a warrior, a mage, or an archer. And
do you know if it's a multiplayer game? Or is it just kind of single thing?
It's only a single player game.
Okay.
But the creation, so you make your own spawn, but my spawn can be used. So if you want to be like, hey, it's Zero's Game Room spawn. Like if you made that, I could have mine and then have that one too.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty interesting. I'm telling you, I love the game to death. I mean, the graphics aren't great, but I love the game, and I can't wait for another game to come out. I can't wait for.
And it's going to be on the Switch, so you can take it wherever you go.
I know. I can show you.
That actually is coming out April 23rd, so that's another thing to be on the lookout. But what were you saying that you were looking out for, or you're excited for?
I just hope that there's a Dragon's Dogma 2 dose, but I don't think there's going to be.
Kind of how like they did that for Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, or Diablo 3, Diablo Immortals.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna go back to Diablo
No.
or Diablo Immortals.
Yeah.
It didn't even do anything.
Yeah,
but going back to the other two things, and that I wanted to touch on while we still have time is the first thing I wanted to talk about was Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
I love it.
What
it
is
looks
this?
cute.
Is this Infinity War?
Oh yeah. So if you guys don't know, so the trailer that they saw or that they have on Twitter,
Yeah,
it's
the story one.
They set the setting to where it's like a little happy. I forgot the name of the rock. It's just a little.
It's just like Happy Rock or something.
It's a happy rock with like 6 stones or 7
I think
stones.
wasn't it 5?
5? I think you're right.
I think that's why we were saying it's like the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, the Infinity Stone.
It's like 5 color stones, just like the Infinity Gauntlet.
And they could wish whatever they want for, and instead of wishing for eternal peace, they're like, let's just lounge around it and
let's just have peace and harmony. And then I forgot the name of the character. It was Baby Bowser and
Kamek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's Kamek. Fun fact: Kamek is a dude, even though he sounds like a girl. I know he sounds like a girl. And with Kamek is a dude. Kamela is the female version of Kamek.
Wait, how can you tell the difference?
I'll show you after. I'll show you after that way. But what I'm seeing with the story, it's basically a sequel to Yoshi's Woolly World, which Yoshi's Woolly World for the Wii U was actually a really good game. A lot of people didn't get to play it because.
It was on the Wii U.
Who bought a Wii U?
Yeah.
I did not buy one. It was gifted to me. Therefore, I never purchased one.
I didn't know Wii U was its own system. I thought Wii U was an addition to the Wii.
Everybody did. That's kind of why they're like, why am I going to spend like almost $300 for
a tablet
yeah,
for my Wii? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a whole nother system. And so it didn't do so well. But it looks promising. It looks fun. I feel... This is one criticism that I have, and it's one of those like Zero. It's a kid's game. What do you want from it? I feel like it's a bit repetitive with the whole Baby Bowser being the villain, but then again, you could argue that Bowser's always the villain for Mario. So, but I don't know. I just feel like these Yoshi games in particular, they've done this. Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64. It was Baby Bowser who stole the tree, the happy tree with the happy fruit. Yeah. That's what it was called. You had Yoshi's Island. Baby Bowser. You had... What else did you have? You had Yoshi's Woolly World, and now you have this, and it's always just Baby Bowser picking on Baby Mario and Yoshi Company.
I don't play Yoshi for the story. I play because it's cute. as hell.
All right, you know what? I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is, one, because you're right, it's going to be simple. It's going to be a simple platformer. It's kid-friendly. It's cute as heck. It's a Yoshi game. Like, what do you expect that you're going to get out of this?
And I think, like, with Kirby's Epic Yarn, it's like more of it's a yarn setting, obviously.
Right.
But this one, it's like, it's paper crafted.
It's
some
like,
yarn,
okay, because it's weird. Because, like, okay, the people who made, what was it? I think they're called Happy Games.
Yeah.
They're the ones who created Kirby's Epic Yarn, and they created Yoshi's Woolly World. And Kirby's Epic Yarn was all like string yarn.
Yeah.
With Woolly World, it was more like crochet. And like with this one, it's more like paper crafty, more... I don't even know what to call it yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's a mixture of like both art styles, and I actually think they put a lot of effort into this game, a lot more in particular, because it looks fantastic. The backgrounds is just amazing.
They're
and then
interactive.
You can go from 2D, and then you can go. If you see the background in the back, oh hey, you can explore that. That's going to be part of that's part of the level.
That's why they're going to hide like little secrets and goodies.
Yeah, it's so
Again,
cute.
it's a cute game. Like, I don't think I've ever played a Yoshi game where I wasn't like at least happy at some point. The music is great. Kirby's Epic Yarn was great. Happy games, they make you feel happy. That should be their slogan. No, it shouldn't. They'd probably be doing terrible. One last thing I want to talk about when it comes to Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's weird that Nintendo is doing this thing. They're doing a lot of things interesting. There was actually an interview recently, and a lot of people were freaking out. I don't know if you saw it on the Twitter space, but that like there was an interview with Nintendo. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been the president of Nintendo. And he was saying basically that like moving forward, they kind of want to work on things. He didn't say this outright, but it was more like they want to do things more mobile, and basically that maybe in a time consoles would have to be left behind. That's not to say a lot of people got misconstrued though, because they were saying like, what? Nintendo's not going to make consoles anymore? What? No, just take the time. See, here's the thing. We're moving in a generation where a lot of things are moving to mobile. Clearly, though, let's take back to Diablo Immortals. People don't want a full-fledged game on their cell phone. I still think consoles are going to be around for a very long time, but I do believe things like Fire Emblem Heroes, that's one of the few games I can say on a mobile device works great.
I actually played that game. It was pretty good. I think I just lost interest over time because of just
power creep and just...
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of power, and then like the orbs, and I was like, I got my money's worth even though I didn't spend any money.
Yeah, no, I did too.
I enjoyed my experience with it.
I enjoyed more just seeing the characters, and it's like, oh, I remember this guy, or I really wanted to get this one. But yeah, it's one of those, like, it is pay to play. You can play free, but it's more fun when it comes to pay to play.
Give your wallet out.
Yeah, it's fine. Give us your wallet. You don't need it.
Yeah, it's silly.
But one last thing with Kirby's Epic Yarn and what Nintendo is doing, other than the fact, because I wanted to lead into a point, not only that they are moving into a mobile eventually, they're going to do more things with mobile. Mario Run didn't do that amazingly. Fire Emblem Heroes has done pretty well, seeing as it's still going. But when it comes to Kirby's Epic Yarn, not necessarily the game, but what the 3DS is slowly becoming. When was the last time you heard of a new title coming out on the 3DS that was going to be huge?
Pokemon.
Yeah,
I feel like 3DS is a Pokemon machine.
I don't even think it's a Pokemon machine at this point anymore. I would have agreed with you before then, but I feel now it's just becoming a port machine. It's getting Kirby's Epic Yarn for any Wii game / GameCube game, I feel is getting ported to the 3DS. We had Luigi's Mansion. We have Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Mario 64.
Mario 64 was on the DS, but I'm just saying that the 3DS is becoming this... I don't know. It's becoming this port machine. It's like they don't want to let it die.
I think they can just exploit the nostalgia, and then, like, you have the 3DS. I don't have one, so I'm not going to invest in that port. But if you're like, hey man, I used to remember playing this as a kid, like I'll give it another go. I'll give it another chance.
Yeah, especially if you already have a 3DS and you're like, man, I really want to play Luigi's Mansion again. I miss that.
Sometimes emulators can be an ass.
Yeah, no. Unless you got a master PC and it's...
No. But like in general, sometimes they can be a pain in the butt to work, and you got to fix certain things. And a lot of regulations, and it's even scary just to even have a website. To have emulations, because you're gonna get sued.
Yeah. It's, especially now in Japan. I don't know if you heard, like hacking your systems and stuff like that is now, like, obviously it's illegal, but if you get caught, like, you will pay a heavy fine in Japan. Like, you can't modify things. You can't.
Really?
Yeah, you can't mod things anymore over there. It's crazy.
That's scary, man. Like, I think for a single player experience, maybe we can talk about this in a future episode.
Yeah,
I think modding on a single player, or even if it's a multiplayer game but a single player story, I think that's totally fine. I think if you mod the experience on multiplayer,
it could get iffy, but the single player, I feel like it's your own adventure, so if you want your sprite to look different or whatever, it ain't gonna kill you for it, but now you can't do that type of stuff in Japan.
Unless you want money. Spend all
They
your
want
money.
the money.
They give me the money.
But I think that will wrap up this episode of ZGR. If you'd like, please let us know on Twitter at Zero's Game Room or on Facebook at Zero's Gaming Room. Email us at Zero's Game Room. See, again, I have to I feel everything is Zero's Game Room except Facebook. Everything.
Can I tell you I like the podcast? I like it.
Oh, thanks. Do you really?
Anytime, man.
Dude, I really appreciate that. And to anybody else, of course, I will be adding a piece to the beginning saying that, again, we are going to be leaving Podomatic soon, hopefully by the end of this month, beginning of February, and we will be on Podbean. So make sure to go follow us there, make an account. You can comment on there, and it's a lot easier for us to interact with everybody else.
And we even have a YouTube channel.
Oh, we have a YouTube channel, too. Zero's Game Room. So if you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube while you're working on something, you could do that, too. Also, Podbean has an app. There's an app for that. So,
There's an app for that.
Yeah, you can just... see, we're trying to make it accessible to everyone and everywhere. But until next time, this episode of Zero's Game Room is officially closed.
Bye. Love you.
I love them, too.